Speaking of, hey, we've got ourselves a new co-host.
Yeah.
This is his first one hosting. What's up, bud?
Not much.
You're going to talk. If you're going to be Chad, you're going to have to talk. Chad likes to talk. Yeah. So what we going to talk to Cousin Taylor here about?
I don't know.
Don't know?
No.
Well, let's see. Let's get it kicked off here. He's got this new. Did you know about his new woodworking adventure?
No.
All right. So what is this called? Appalachian.
Yeah.
I have. Let's talk about this. Okay.
Yeah.
So Appalachian Woodworking, right?
Yep. Appalachian Woodworking.
Well, I thought. Okay. Now hang on. Let's talk about
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Because you originally agreed with me years
I know
ago
this is going to go. Okay.
that Appalachian was played out a little bit.
I deny this.
You did say that.
I don't.
You said.
I don't think that's
you
true.
said, hey, we got this Appalachian. You know, it's overused. And next thing I know, you're popping up on my social media feed with a big A.
Dude, I'm proud of being Appalachian. In fact, look at my shirt. It actually says "Proud Appalachian" on the back. I think it's great. I think it's people really relate to it right now. You know, I'm proud of my heritage, and
now can we actually say that we are Appalachia?
Absolutely.
Where does that fall? Because I kind of think of Appalachia like Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, that corridor down through there.
Yeah, it's actually a federally designated region. So we're in Appalachia. Yeah.
Where does it end? Cincy?
Well, it goes as far west in Ohio as Claremont County, so right up to Cincinnati.
Okay.
It goes as far north, as a matter of fact, up to Ashtabula County, like up to the
northeastern.
Yeah, they were added later on. They were not like an original.
It's hilly.
Yeah, they were not like an original Appalachian County. And then in our neck of the woods, it goes up to Ross County, and then it stops in Pickaway County.
And then it starts veering right.
Yeah. So pretty much, if you think about the hillier areas of Ohio, probably Appalachian.
Yeah.
Southeast.
The foothills.
There's 32 counties, 32 of the 88.
32 of the 88 are in the Appalachian region.
Yep.
Okay. So you have developed Appalachian Woodworking.
Yeah.
And you're making swings.
Making swings. It happened, as a lot of these things do, with a request from my wife. Shout out to Natalie. She said, "Can you give me a shout out tonight?" So shout out to Natalie. Yep. She said, "Hey, check out these swings online. These oversized swings, you know, that are the size of a crib mattress." She's like, "I want to have one on our porch. You know, we've got this Victorian house we've redone. We've got this huge wraparound porch." And I'm like, okay, I can see if I can build one of those. And I did, and it looked decent. And a bunch of people would walk by our house and be like, "Man, where'd you guys buy that? Like, where could we find one of those?" And they're not really affordable. You know, if you would look and try to buy one of those swings online, I mean, you're going to pay like thousands of dollars. If you'd go on Wayfair, one of these other websites,
You're probably $2,000-3,000, wouldn't
$2,000 or $3,000. Yeah. So yeah, I just decided, you know, I can start making these. A few people started asking for them locally, and I wanted to come in at a lower price point and put together like a really nice product. And yeah, I just shipped one to Oregon a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
What was the shipping
Texas.
on that?
You know, for the big ones, it's if you ship through Etsy, you can get discounted shipping, but it was only about $100.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing. This is my market advantage. I have a way to disassemble them, and I flat pack them. And so they're shipped in a 60 by 12 by 10 box.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Kind of like a TV.
Yeah. Well, 60 inches long.
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah. And yeah, it's not that bad. It's like 50 pounds.
So do you include instructions on how to?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Mariah, my sister, who actually designed this shirt, she like customized the design of the instructions for me. I made an instructional video, and yeah, it's worked out really well.
Oh, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Well, she's always been the smartest one out of the three of you.
Well, you know.
I mean, you know, she's probably the best. So
I can see that. I can see that. She'll probably watch this, and
she'll agree. She'll agree. So you're doing they are oversized, is what you're saying. I didn't know that part. I just thought they were porch swings, but I guess you're selling them as an oversized porch swing. So let's porch swings. I feel like that's a lost art. I feel like there's not a lot of people anymore sitting on porches.
Yeah.
You think it's because of the seating arrangement that they have? You think with some more of these swings?
I say let's bring it back. The farmhouse thing is pretty hot right now.
Farmhouse, what do you mean?
Farmhouse, the farmhouse style, the
barn
boho.
Dominiums.
Well, that kind of thing, and the hardy board, and that kind of a look. People are really into that, and these swings can really. I mean, we've got a Victorian house. These swings can go with a lot of different styles, and the one thing that was shocking to me when I started putting these out, we had a lot of people say, "We'd love to have one of these. We don't have a porch." And I realized, oh man, there's some people. I had thought that porches were more prevalent than they really are, but people can put these around a fire pit or like in a backyard setting if they want to. You don't just have them free hanging off of like an A-frame or something like that. Something like that. But we also have these bench swings for like kids to hang off of to hang from like trees as a rope swing or something like that. Sold several of those, and it's going great.
Yeah, you seem. I didn't realize that you had all those tools and everything. Like I've been seeing you working. I didn't know any of that about you. Where'd you learn how to do that, or did you just learning as you go?
I just picked it up online.
Because you're rounding sides and corners. You're what do they call that? Planing them down, or routing them down. Yeah, to round them off there and the whole thing. That which would make it very nice. It wouldn't leave that crease underneath your leg.
Yeah.
Huh. So we don't have a porch swing, do we, bud?
No.
Would you sit in the porch swing?
Yeah, I would.
Well, what would we talk about in that porch swing?
I'd just sit there.
Would you?
I'd just sit there and watch.
You're right, though. Porches are not as prevalent as what you probably think. Everybody has a front door.
Yeah.
But having a structure that can support, that brings me to my next question.
Yep.
What do they support as far as like how much weight bearing?
Yeah. The rope itself is rated for 800 pounds. It's jute hemp rope.
Okay.
All natural. So the rope isn't the problem. And it's pretty heavily supported. It's pretty heavy duty wood construction I'm using. So, we haven't tested it beyond, I don't think it's been tested beyond 500 pounds, but it can hold, a pretty good amount. And when I say they're oversized, they're about 56 inches wide, but they're deeper. It's not that they're that much wider, but they're a lot deeper than your average porch swing. So think of a crib mattress, and that's literally what you set into it. So it's not like you're just sitting on wood or you're just sitting on a little float.
Oh, it's got a mattress.
It's got a literal crib mattress you're setting into it, and that's what you're sitting on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that it was even padded.
Yep. Yeah, so you just make like a square frame. You sit the crib mattress in it itself, but that's the dimension you're looking at. So it's a pretty good size, and it's cool. It's really comfortable.
Cup holders.
Got cup holders. Got bottle openers too.
Yeah, so you put the bottle opener on there. What are they retailing for?
So $825 is the model with the cup holders without bottle opener. Yeah, that's the most popular model right now.
Without the bottle opener. Typically, a lot of people don't need the bottle opener, where they could probably put their own out there.
Yeah.
It's on their keychain.
Yep.
What kind of wood you using?
Using higher quality pine.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it grown in Appalachia?
No, it's not grown in Appalachia. We don't grow a lot of pine in Appalachia. That's typically coming from the southern states. We've got a lot of hardwoods here, and it just makes more sense to use pine for these.
Yeah, they would weather better.
Yep.
Yeah, and then once that pine dries out, it's tougher than a pine knot. That saying is true.
Yep.
And that wood has to cure. So are these? I'm sure it is now, but that wood's probably cured before you ever do this.
Yeah. So this is not. I'm not using green lumber. This is not pressure treated lumber. So this is ready to go. I cut it and I put it together, sand it, stain it, polyurethane, put typically 3 coats of polyurethane on it, and it's ready to go. But of course I give it some time to cure, especially between the polyurethane coats, just to make sure it's nice and good. And it's had really good results. We've had ours on our porch for I think 3 years now before we actually redesigned it and switched it out, but still in great shape. The stains hold a little bit better than the painted ones do personally, but yeah, I think they look cool.
The stains do what now?
They hold a little bit better than the paint. I think they look a little bit better than painted pine. So I really like the natural look of staining the wood rather than just painting it. You don't see as many of the imperfections that would go in over time. We've got a black one, which is why I'm saying that, because like every little imperfection over time that you would see as we bump into our swing,
you're seeing it,
which, we like it because we've got black, fixtures at our house, but I tell folks, it looks good, but it's going to hold up better if it's going to be stained. So
yeah,
that's what most folks have gone with, which has worked well.
I saw, speaking of your front porch, I saw that you'd put up some railing, and
yeah.
I had two thoughts. I was like, I liked it better open because we just took our railing, but then I realized there's getting ready to be a little one coming around, and that railing was needed.
Yep.
So I was like, that's why he did the railing, because it had railing up. No, it had us fully screened in.
Fully screened. Yeah. Well, it was
there's a room.
It had siding on it and everything, and these huge shrubs around it. So I took those off like 4 years ago, and we just redid the porch and put up wrought iron, custom made wrought iron around it, and I think it looks cool and
it does look good.
Yeah.
The only thing I thought is it looked great open.
Yeah.
I liked it when you had it open.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, that made that house charming.
We tried to recreate, because we have the original spindles and the railing back from 1892 when the house was built, but man, that paint on there, we just couldn't get it off. We tried burning it off. We tried power washing it, like point blank range. Couldn't get it off. We did everything. Paint thinner. We did everything. Just would not come off. So we just had to totally start new. Yeah.
What do you think?
What do you think, Gibson? Have you seen our new porch?
No.
Okay.
He's awful quiet over here, isn't he,
I know.
Taylor? Yeah. He's a showman until you put a microphone in his face.
Gibson, who's your favorite YouTuber? I just watched a Mr. Beast video and they had all these YouTubers compete for something.
Yeah,
I didn't know anybody on there.
That. I like Mr. Beast.
Who's your favorite?
Probably him. Yeah.
Sketch?
I don't really. I've seen who he is. Like, I know who he is. I watch him a little bit, but I've never really seen like any of his. I've never really watched any of his lives.
He does more gaming than he does.
Yeah, he does more gaming than he does like
YouTube stuff.
YouTube stuff. Yeah.
Mr. Beast.
He's
incredible.
Yeah.
Like his YouTube.
He's incredible. Yeah.
What he does on YouTube is incredible.
He went from like, I think it was 100 million to 300 million, and it like a year and a half or 2 years maybe.
I watched a video of him this morning, and it said he could start a YouTube channel right now, and in 6 months he'd have 20 million.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And I do too. Yeah.
I believe it.
Wonder how he's doing his videos.
I don't know. I think he made this video one time, like how I know he's got like a lot of houses, but one of them is like a tiny house in his studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a whole like production town or something in North Carolina. I heard.
Production town.
Yeah.
How they used to have like those TikTok houses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Taylor's he's anti-TikTok, Gib.
I am anti-TikTok, yeah.
But I have noticed he is on there now.
Yeah, I'm on there now.
With this Appalachian Woodworking,
I don't want to say I've sold out, but you can be the judge, because I did have a pretty hard stance on it, and then now I have a TikTok.
Well, you had a hard stance after you started it. Then you backed away, and now you're back.
Yeah, I did.
Are you getting orders from that? Have you done the TikTok shops?
No, and I'll tell you why I'm not doing the TikTok shop, because you've got to give them so much information, and it is sketchy to me.
Okay.
I don't trust TikTok. Don't trust them.
What do you think they're going to do? Create a Taylor Stepp?
I think you actually have to give them your social security number.
Probably for payment and a W-9.
Well, I've got an LLC.
Then you didn't have to give them your social. You'd have to give them your tax ID.
FEIN.
Yeah.
I tried giving them my FEIN. They said it wasn't enough. That's sketchy to me. And I don't know why you'd want that level of information unless you're trying to pull some nefarious stuff, which is my whole concern with them. So I'm just trying to drive traffic to my website, which is growing incrementally. But
so I haven't been on your website.
Yep. Cribswings.com.
Cribswings.com.
Yep. Most traffic goes through Etsy, but trying to build the main website, putting some money in Google Ads,
We're heavily focused on that over here with Clay on the Google Ads.
Yeah.
And we're seeing an amazing amount of return on that. I mean, it's something, like I'm thinking it's crazy. It's like 10 or 12,000 a month that we put into it, but we're bringing back, millions a year off of it. Yeah. Google, I was thinking about this earlier. Google has been, everybody's done it. You say something, and next thing you know, it's right in front of on your phone.
Yep.
Well, Google does that. Mm-hmm. So that's what whenever you're doing Google ads and things, that's kind of the back end.
That's what you're paying for.
That's what you're paying for is to be the one that pops up whenever they say, "Oh, I want a new. We need a porch swing, honey." Well, if you were dumping money in Google, then cribswings.com is going to pop right up on your feed somehow.
Yep.
Yeah. So Google, in my opinion, is the future. I'm sure everybody knows that it's not the future, but it's. I think they will wrap it all up under one eventually.
Yeah, it's kind of. I need to learn more about it. I'm still just getting my toe in. It's driving some results, but I need to learn more about it.
How much money are you putting in it?
Not much.
I mean, like what's a minimum amount that you can put in Google for Google ads? Like $10?
I don't know what the minimum is. I think we're doing it's a pittance. It's like $4 a day or something.
Oh, okay.
It was driving a pretty good amount of traffic. But what they try to sell you on is this not very targeted campaign. Mm-hmm. So they'll show ads on Google Maps.
Okay.
It's how's that helping me? We don't have a storefront. I want my ads to be on Google search or on third-party sites like Pinterest.
Okay.
And I want them to be like what you're saying, like people that are already interested in that topic and then meet this subset of categories. So I'm trying something new, and I think I need to talk to somebody at Google to better hone it.
Well, you can sit down, take Cyberbacker. I don't know if you've listened to Mike Davis's pods with us, but he owns that company called Cyberbacker. Mm. And if I was doing that right now, I would hire a cyberbacker, and I would have them get there's a class that you can take for free on Google, and it's a Google certification.
Yeah.
And I would pay that cyberbacker to do that. And then I would tell that cyberbacker what I was wanting to do, and then I'd say, okay, now here's my X amount of dollars a month, go manage that for me. And let them do it. Kind of like your own AI type of deal. Yeah. And that way you had your own Google expert. If I was going to run that deal, if I was going to run an online shop like that, that's what I'd be. Look, the first thing I'd do is get that Google certification.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
But I just know that there's a class and a study that you can do with Google, and they provide it all for free. But man, they're in every house.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah. Well, if you're on Google, they'll embed those ads into Pinterest.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea they could even do. And then Natalie's like, look what's on my phone. And it's my swings on her Pinterest. I'm like, I didn't even know I was placing ads there. It's crazy.
But they're doing that because of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So Google watches you, the person, and then markets to you based on, however much money you're spending.
Yep.
Yeah. How many jobs is that Google facility of the 9 buildings up there at Scioto Downs going to provide?
Man. That's a good question.
Figured you'd know that.
Yeah, I don't know the number. I'll tell you, data centers, I've done a lot of work with data centers, and they take up an enormous amount of electricity, an enormous amount of water. They're big capital investment projects, not a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate to put a number on it, but I mean...
Maybe 50?
Probably more than that amongst 9 buildings.
Yeah.
But...
Under 1,000.
definitely under 1,000, I would say.
Yeah.
Unless they've got other operations there. I don't know. If they've
Well,
got one
your lawn care, your building maintenance, but like workers inside those buildings are going to be far and few between.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got, just to use some really round numbers, if you've got a couple 100,000 square feet of data center space, I mean, you might have a couple dozen people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, you compare that to, some of the facilities we have here in Jackson County. You've got 100,000 square feet or 200,000 square feet. You might have
500 people.
Yeah, right.
Or 1,200.
Yeah, right. Or a distribution center might be 1,000 people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, while we're paying the bills, let's talk about one of our oldest sponsors that's been with us since the beginning. Geiger Brothers. Geiger Brothers is headquartered in Jackson, Ohio, with offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Knoxville, Tennessee. We provide construction services in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee. A veteran and dynamic staff of talented people, symbolic of our 100-year history of success, gives Geiger Brothers a distinct advantage. Leveraging that experience for our customers allows us the ability to provide consistent and superior performance for their construction, engineering, and fabrication needs. And hey, we've had several of these guys on our shows. Scott Massey, Kyle Hickey, Shay Meredith, just to name a few. Go back, look through some of the old episodes and get to know them. It's a great group of people that have been with us for a long time, and we certainly appreciate it. So enjoy tonight's show, courtesy of Geiger Brothers here in Jackson.
Hey, let's pivot here.
All right.
Let's talk about your boy Vance.
All right.
JD Vance just named a vice president.
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk about the gunshot.
Oh my gosh, man.
Hey, listen, I was talking to a guy earlier today. I hit a skunk the other day at about 60 yards with my buckshot.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was very, very, very proud of that shot that I hit with a 20 gauge buckshot shell.
Yeah, right.
For that guy to only miss that by about a 3-inch margin, okay, something's off. There's no way your average 20-year-old pulling daddy's AR out of the closet, loading it up, is taking that shot at 150 yards. No way.
Yeah.
That or he's incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
What do you think?
There's not a lot known about this guy yet. I guess, I don't know if this is true. Reports are coming around that he like was kicked out of his high school rifle club. Like he tried to join, but he was so erratic with his shooting that he got kicked out. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, there's a lot of false reporting going on right now, but
a ton of it.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of questions right now. I mean, when I heard the news, I mean, my first thoughts were, I mean, what's this going to do to our country? I mean, not knowing if at the time if President Trump was safe or,
dead,
if he'd been, murdered, I thought, my very first thought was what's going to happen to our country? Because what I'm concerned with right now in our country is there seems to be a divide that at times seems insurmountable if we don't take the temperature down. And, murder of Donald Trump would not de-escalate the situation at all.
I think you would have seen a major uprising, is what I think.
You would have seen some division that would have significantly altered the course of the country. And I think, thank God, President Trump is safe. And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the video that's going around, but there's like I don't know how they did it, but they kind of like mimicked what the shooter's aim was like when he took the shot, and it had a scope, and they recreated the whole thing. I can't remember who did it, but right when he took the shot, Trump's head was right in the crosshair.
And he moved.
He turned his head like right at the last second.
However, he actually turned into the bullet.
Really?
He went like this and turned to the right. And for that to hit his right ear, just think about it. So if he would have been here and then went like this.
Well, I think he moved his head back too. I've seen some video of it, and it looks like he moves his head like he does turn his head, but it's not like just a pivoting. He turns his head.
I figured that kid probably took a deep breath and said, "Now's the time." And Trump was at a certain angle, and he had him in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
And by the time he got that pull, and he pulled it, Trump had already went like this, and that's how he clipped his ear.
Could be. The way I'm choosing to view this, and I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened. I'd like to learn more about this kid because there's a lot of fishy stuff there for sure. I mean, how he got there, why no one saw him, how did he get a ladder there, et cetera, et cetera. We need to get these things solved so something doesn't happen to, our sitting president or someone else. God forbid. We don't want anything like that to happen to anyone. We need civil. We need our politics to be civil. But my main takeaway is, I think God saved the president. My watch of all of these replays shows that his last second movement saved his life. And it sounds like that's what he's saying too. Former President Trump, he's saying that, he, by providence, he was saved here. And I'm just like, the reality that we're living in right now, what is today, the 18th? Yeah, the 18th of July. Man, it could be quite different than if he did not turn his head. I cannot imagine what it would be like an 18th of July had he not turned his head, 4 inches or whatever it was. So I think God spared us something that could have been really not great. I'm glad he spared his life.
I think you would have had, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not, it's just an opinion is all it is. I feel like a lot of the left side of things, they get really worked up, and they get really, in a way, confrontational.
Yeah.
What I've seen, they're constantly in your face about things.
Yeah.
And the right side seems to not really, I don't want to say combat it. They do. I watched an argument the other night between 3 old men on Facebook, and they were all going at it. But the left side seems like they seem a little bit more radical right now than the right. And I'm honestly surprised that he made it through his first 4-year term without this at least trying to happen. I'm surprised that it didn't happen with Obama. I'm surprised now Biden, action creates reaction. And I say whatever they want to say about him, but that man doesn't really, like, even right now, if you listen to him, he is too worried about bad-mouthing Trump than he is running the country.
Yeah.
And that's his whole thing. And it's like, guys, man, this is the problem with, that's why I'm starting, the older I get, I'm starting to, as we talked earlier, despise government and politics.
I think we're probably at a new low, at least for, anyone who's been around in America with the discourse and how we're handling each other. Perhaps things were worse in the 19th century or something, but we've got no one around who saw that currently. Because you're right. We're not trying to solve problems really. We're
trying to win votes.
When I say we, I don't mean you and I don't mean any of the parties.
You mean the country?
In particular. I just mean the elected representatives by and large. They're trying to score more points by dunking on the other side than they are to try to solve problems. I used to work in politics. The people that I was with, we were trying to get stuff done. It's really, really hard to work in politics. Really hard. There are really good people in government. And, if you're not in it for the right reasons, I wish we could identify those people and send them packing. But it just seems like for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened. And, that's one of the reasons why I'm not involved in politics anymore is because.
I thought for sure you was headed that way. Politics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's not something I'm interested in doing. I want to make, well, we can talk about that if you want, but I don't want to go down a rabbit hole if you don't want to go there.
Well, let's talk about Vance. So I've met him once or twice with you guys.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and stroke his ego or anything. I thought I didn't like Hillbilly Elegy. I didn't think it was a great depiction of Southern Ohio. I said that same thing about Nicole Regal's movie, The Holler. I don't like it whenever things shed bad lights on this area. It's and I thought that did. I can't help his story. That's his story, but at the same time, it was kind of a slap. I thought, maybe I took it that way. I appreciate his service time. I'm a little leery of anybody that is a career politician. What's he done?
Yeah. Well, I liked Hillbilly Elegy. I liked it a lot. Sure. And I'll just say my grandpa, who grew up in Eastern Kentucky, it really, really resonated with him. And, in the book, JD, he spends summers, if you guys haven't read the book, JD spends his summers with his family in Eastern Kentucky, yep. And it really related to my grandpa. And I related to it too. And in the back of the book, JD talks about some of his policy prescriptions for the issues in Appalachia. And I get your point about bad depictions of the area. And one of the reasons our area lacks some of the economic development that we all want to see is because of some of those depictions. So I have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. However, I think what he said was kind of on the nose, and to me at least, and I think we kind of have to identify the problems in order to fix them. So I thought that he was honestly trying to do that. He wasn't famous at the time. He just was writing a memoir, and it got big. To the
that's
point,
what got him big, really.
That's what got him big. To the point about what he's done. I don't really know JD. I just know him from things and whatever. He did have a successful venture capitalist career.
Okay.
And
so explain to me what he did whenever he was a venture capitalist. So he was spending the money or he was spending somebody else's money?
I don't know if it was his fund or if I don't know how much equity he had in the fund.
Okay.
He was wealthy. It's not like he was just a fund manager.
Then what happened to how did he get so wealthy if he grew up in the Hillbilly Elegy?
Well, he went to Yale Law School.
That doesn't mean he's wealthy.
Well, he had some pretty good clerkships and some pretty good jobs outside of school. I don't know what they all were, but he eventually got to a point where he
had some money.
He had some money. He was working in a venture capital firm. And what they were trying to do, and I really respect this, is he was trying to deploy venture capital money to middle America, because right now, well, not right now, but it used to be more of a problem in like the early 2000s and 2010s, but most of the venture capital money would just stay in Silicon Valley or like the coast, and they wouldn't come to Jackson, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And so he would try to take that money and put it in Ohio or Pennsylvania, or he'd try to get it off the coast. He would take the money from the coast and try to invest it here, which I really respect.
Give me an example on how he would try to do that.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the story. I don't know specifically what he did, but he worked with Peter Thiel, who is one of the founders of PayPal and is a very vaunted venture capitalist too. And
okay,
I don't know if that name rings a bell, but
no, I don't know that. I don't know much about him. Just what that's my only exposure to the guy is just the movie, and I know he was in the Marines. Now he was he was not a combat Marine. He was bring me up to speed. He was
I don't know.
He wasn't like a paramedic, but he might have even been like something in the legal department or something. I'd have to go back.
Probably not legal, because I think he went to the Marines before he went to Ohio State, if I'm remembering the book correctly.
And was he born and raised in Middletown? Mm-hmm. Okay, is that where he still calls home?
He lives in Cincinnati, so close.
Okay, it'll obviously benefit Ohio. Yeah. With him being in there.
He's been in Jackson. I think that's pretty cool, if nothing else. We've got a guy that knows where
Jackson is. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's definitely not. That's going to be better than a guy that doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're seeing a lot of things shift around down here right now, and there's a lot of, you know, now we're back to what we were originally talking about. Whenever you walked in, there's just not a lot here. You know, and the reason there's not a lot of here is because there's nothing to bring them here. There's no industry. You know, and I mean, I think that the industry has to come, and it's hard to bring industry here because there's not enough. I mean, we can't fill the jobs that we have now.
I was when I was staying with my dad this weekend, he said, "Hey, I want to watch the podcast you did with Jason."
Okay.
So I rewatched the podcast we did like a year or two ago.
That's probably 2 years ago, yeah.
And I rewatched it on Sunday or Monday or something. So I just rewatched it, and then before you asked me to do this, and we talked about kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'll restate what I said before, which is this is a desirable area for companies. I mean, that's what I do right now is I help companies make capital investments, and there's a lot to like about the area, and I know it's often said that we can't get people to fill the jobs that we have now, but there are reasons for that. And we could get into those reasons if we want to talk about it. But we have people leaving for work that are going to Columbus, that are going to Portsmouth, that are going to Cincinnati, that are going to Huntington.
Athens,
yeah, we have people that are going.
They leave the county every day.
Every single day. And I mean, it's over 50, I believe it's at 50% or over 50% of the people that are working are leaving the county every day for work.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
So there are people, and a lot of those people are driving more than 90 minutes one way.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a workforce here that we could capture if there were more jobs available here for them to capture. Now, there are barriers to getting those employers here, which are sites. This region does manufacturing really, really well. We make stuff. That's what we do, but we're out of sites. And by the way, at the time when we talked a couple years ago, you guys were like, "Hey, can you tell us what's going to happen next?" You're trying to get me. Her Foods, man. I mean, that's a huge win, you know. And that was our last site.
Yeah,
and it's gone. So
where is that going?
So that's going to go into the Meridian site. So Her Foods bought the entire property, but they're going to
from Hibbett's and all them down.
Correct, but they're going to occupy the 50,000 square foot building initially.
Which 50,000 square foot building?
On the back end.
On the back, I'll say 50,000 square feet is not a lot.
They're going to put a good amount of jobs in there.
How many? 50, 40?
I think like 75.
Okay, but I mean, we're in over 50 over there where we're at. I mean, that'll definitely run you a manufacturing facility, but I mean, it's not like that one job's going to come in and save the day.
I don't want to speak for them, but I think they've got bigger plans because they bought the whole site.
Okay. Well, and they would have to have trucking and all that. They would have to
be rail there. You
got rail, yeah. Yeah, that's your best site. That was your best site in the
We got to lock and load. Yeah. We got to get a new site now because if a company, again, I work for companies, and if they said, "Hey, I want to be in Jackson, Ohio for some reason," where would I put them? I don't have the real estate to put them at, and I know that there are folks working to do that, but you can't point to a raw field and say, go put a new Honda supplier right there. I mean, it's just not going to work. They'll go to Chillicothe or they'll go to Huntington or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough deal, man. I mean, I'm in manufacturing now, and it's fun, and it's something that I can, that is, in my opinion, that is what's going to bring this area
totally agree.
Around. However, I doubt I live to see it. Like, I don't think that it'll happen. He might, if something happens, but I mean, man, look at the manufacturing scale up and scale down just in my lifetime here in this town, even yours. I mean, you went from Mills Pride and AP Green and the Oak Hill Foundry and the McNally Pittsburgh and everything over in in Wellston, and then you had Marilat and Meridian, and all these places that are gone, and now we're trying to build them back up. I mean, it's almost like the Cold War came through here and just blew everything up, and now we're rebuilding back our infrastructure.
Here's what happened. A couple things happened. Our trade policy caused those jobs to leave areas like Jackson that are typically lower cost areas, and those jobs went overseas. That was a mistake. We should not have done that. And our energy policy changed, which
now we don't have the energy
like this uncompetitive in some capacities, even though we're producing energy, and it put the coal mines out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And it put Globe Iron, it relocated Globe Iron and some of these other companies. So that's a problem. What's happening now, and what I predict will happen, is you're going to see less people in these manufacturing facilities, but they're going to make more money.
I agree.
So that's going to probably be a net benefit, because you're going to have less people,
higher paying jobs,
higher wages,
mm-hmm.
and you're going to have other jobs in other sectors. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to the AI field and what that's going to, how that's going to just multiply
mm-hmm.
the industries that are out there. And you think about, the various white collar industries and what work can be done remotely.
Mm-hmm.
So, remote work has been a huge beneficiary for Jackson. And if we can incrementally scale up those jobs while we're still winning these good manufacturing jobs, which we're doing, then I think Jackson's going to be in a great position. I mean, I was looking at the podcast from a couple years ago, and we talked about Jackson being in a good position. I'm thrilled at the position that Jackson's in. I mean, I'm just thrilled. And, we've had these good manufacturing wins and these good industrial development wins, but I'm also really thrilled to see things like Apple Tots.
What's that?
It's the one across the street for I think it's right by the treatery. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here? Like right across the street from this building?
Yeah.
It's a play center for babies.
Oh, okay. How do you know about this?
Gibson knows everything.
My mom had the kid she had a kid last year in kindergarten, and his mom is the one who started that up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I haven't seen this. I'll have to look around, but I haven't been paying attention either.
But that's the kind of stuff in Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, we didn't have that.
We had child development center
10 years ago. I mean, this isn't daycare.
Okay.
This is a organized play date kind of a thing for kids.
Okay.
So you take them for an hour or two, they have a blast, and then you take them home.
Okay.
My niece and nephew have been, they loved it. This is not the kind of thing we had in Jackson 10 years ago. This is not the kind of thing we had in Jackson when we grew up. We now have this new amazing Sixth Sense restaurant.
We just ate there.
Yeah.
We have this new amazing Sixth Sense restaurant. I got to tell you, there are not other places in Southern Ohio that are our size, or even, frankly, other places in Appalachia that are our size, that have our industrial base and that have these types of amenities. And man, I'm thrilled. I mean, if you want the kind of quality of life that we have here in small town Jackson, Ohio, safe community, you've got walkability, especially if you live in the city. You're close to Columbus, you're close to Chillicothe. You can have anything from Amazon delivered in a day or two. It's a great place to live. And I'm not just gassing it up. It's true.
No, it is a great place to live. I'm not going to say that. Or I'm not going to say that it's not. I just think that there's a lot of energy wasted on trying to fix something that's just really, it is what it is. And I don't mean that in a bad or good way. I mean, there's a lot of energy that goes forth that of things that are uncontrollable, that it just is, there's no fixing it. There's no, I don't think that we're ever going to be Columbus. We don't want to be Columbus.
We don't want to be Columbus. Yeah.
We don't want to, now we could stand a Kenworth here, we could stand one of those if we could field the workers, I like it here. Now I say that, and I'd move in a hot minute if I could get them to move. But how many times have I?
Don't leave us, Gibson.
You've asked me a lot. So
yeah,
don't leave us, Gibson.
And it's not that I hate it here. But I've been here for 43 years. I'm just ready for something else. I literally.
It's not better out there.
No, I agree. You're gonna have those things everywhere. As far as what the things that I don't like about Jackson. are more Jason Gillum's problems than they are Jackson's problems, But yeah, I mean, I think I'm like you. I mean, I think I'm not excited. I mean, I think it's not doing bad though. Neighborhoods are cleaning up. They're tearing down some old houses. They're starting to fix some utility infrastructure that we needed. Yeah. So I've said this. They always talk about that Hammertown region, and I've said this till I'm blue in the face. But I've been all over the country, man. As far as like backwoods trails and different towns and different things, and Hammertown's lake quality is absolutely probably the best thing that I've ever seen as far as drinking water. Hey, Chubbies, let's talk about a sponsor that came to us about a year ago, and it's been nothing but smooth sailing ever since, just like it is in their business. And that sponsor is the Kelly Wiley Group of the Keller Williams Capital Partners. The market has now shifted for sellers, and now more than ever, experienced professionalism actually matter. Gone are the days when the agents can just snap some pics with their phone and pop a sign in the yard. Sellers actually deserve more than that. Whether you're selling a $100,000 home or $1 million home, you'll get Kelly Wiley. You'll get Kelly Wiley, an agent that you can trust with more than 16 years of experience and more than 1,500 transactions. Kelly will answer your questions, she'll reduce your stress levels, and she'll help guide you through what we all know is a lengthy process. You get professional photography, you get FAA licensed drone pilots, and you get an in-house marketing team to make your home look amazing to the future buyers. You get a full staff of transaction professionals to make sure that your transaction goes smooth from the beginning to the end. You get reach. They have 3 MLSs to reach out more and more agents, and they can find your house quicker and easier now than ever through those MLSs. And you get a referral network of more than 160,000 Keller Williams agents across the United States to send buyers to see your home. You just can't beat it, guys. These are the reasons why the Kelly Wiley Group is the #1 team in the area. If you want your home sold for the right price and for the highest price possible in the shortest amount of time, guys, call Kelly Wiley today at 740-577-3795. I'm going to say it to you again. If you want your home sold for the highest priced in the shortest amount of time, it's a great deal for everybody. Give Kelly Wiley a call at 740-577-3795, and let's get that listing. I mean, there's nothing that feeds Hammertown. Okay, I don't know if that is all just clear runoff and runoff of nothing. Other than just the natural environment. Yeah. There's no plants or like factories. There's nothing that could taint that supply that's out there. Okay. I think that's a huge asset because, I think as time goes on and the economy or the population continues to rise, which I don't know if it will here, but as population rises, you said utilities, there's a huge, I'm out of the solar business now, but I was in the solar business. And I mean, man, people have no idea. Like we are right on the bubble of not having enough electric.
Yeah.
I mean, Google and Intel are going to completely wipe out the electric service that we have currently. I mean, it's unbelievable. I had no idea. And I mean, you're talking to an old coal miner, right? I mean, people have no idea. Like, I think they even shut down buildings 8 and 9 at Google because they're out of power. I think I heard that. Now that was 2 months ago. I've also heard that Intel has significantly impacted the water tables up in that area that they're up in that Johnstown area, because that was one of the reasons why they went there was because it had such a high water table. Well, I've heard that like the local farmers and everything, that they're noticing some depletion of natural water that they were using as part of that water table.
I doubt that's true because the plant isn't even operational yet.
I know. I was wondering about that myself, but I wonder if just like right now, I know that Google for those data centers, they're drilling down, sometimes 150, 200 feet. Yeah. I just wonder if they haven't interrupted the aquifer somehow.
There are a lot of smart people, smarter than me, working on that. I got to assume they've got it right. But
yeah, you haven't heard any of that in your world, but you're not really in that world anymore, are you? You're not in the...
I'm in the world. I'm just on the other side. I'm on the other side of the table.
You're whether or not do you want to come there or not.
Yeah.
Rather than, hey, come here.
Yeah, I'm representing the companies.
Yeah. Yeah. You like this better?
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. It's very interesting seeing how decisions are made in the boardroom, seeing how corporate executives think about different regions of the state and what's important to them. Things that I would have thought when I worked in economic development that would be important to them, or some of those things are not, and vice versa. For example, I was when I first started this job, a C-suite person referred to a county of 400,000 people as being a small county.
Ooh.
And I just said, oh man. So, it kind of solidified some of my belief about putting my Jackson hat on. It kind of solidified some of my belief that it takes the right kind of people to invest here. It's not going to always take, it's probably not going to take your metropolitan, New Yorker who's used to a metro region of, 20 million people, wherever the metro region is there, who would not understand that we can pull together a good workforce here, for example, right? We need companies that will invest here that have a good understanding of the workforce and the kind of things we can do, which, the companies that have been successful here, that's what they come from. Rural King, for example, the group I used to be with, we helped bring Rural King, not the retail stores, but they have actually their second headquarters in Waverly.
Yeah,
most people don't realize that. Yeah, they've got, I don't know how many people they're at now, but maybe like 800 or 900 people.
Yeah.
A lot of good jobs.
Is that just a distribution warehouse? Is that what that is?
Got manufacturing.
What
They've got white-collar jobs. They actually manufacture their Rural King tractors there.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
I
cool.
didn't know that. Yep.
Pretty cool. Yeah, but they came from, rural Mattoon, Illinois. So they got the region. I mean, they understood it and they came here. Same with the Her Foods guys, which, by the way, the Her Foods people are excellent. I mean, they are some of the best people that I've had the pleasure of doing business with, and the community is going to fall in love with them. But those are the kinds of people that would want to come here, that'll do business and will really do well.
As opposed to Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't want to name a specific company, for example, but if they don't, you've got to have an appreciation for the fact that rural workers have amazing work ethic. They're willing to drive long distance, and they're probably better at making things than folks in a lot of these suburban areas.
I would agree. I've done jobs in bigger cities before, and I mean, that it's probably a little better quality. I'm not going to say quality of person, but the work ethic. Now we've got lazy people here too, but
we do have lazy people here.
But is the guys that are driving, odds are if they're driving to come to you to work, they're going to work.
And they're making good money too,
And they don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think the first move, going back to the politics, what do you think the first move that old JD will do? I think they're going to groom him to be the president. I think they're going to groom him to be after Trump.
Man, it's hard to say. When Trump made the selection of JD, the very first thing I thought was he's looking for an heir apparent. Because Trump is 78.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is 78 and Biden's 81. And there really hasn't been anybody else to carry the Trump mantle in the party. Trump really, I mean, you think about who were the bigwigs when Trump came into power, and a lot of those guys are gone. So I think this was kind of a nod maybe to a new generation of leaders. JD is going to be the first millennial to be on a presidential ticket, and somebody who once, assuming Trump would win, would be around afterwards to continue the work, which, he's probably thinking about legacy. He's probably thinking about what's going to happen when he's done.
What was the deal with Pence? Why didn't he have Pence? Because of the January 6th thing?
I think that had something to do with it. I think they had a falling out because of all that, but I don't really know.
Huh. Yeah, I don't either. I stay out of it, man. I'm so anti. Wait till I see I told you earlier, wait till I see those commissioners. In Jackson County, I've got bones to pick. I know you tell me to calm down, Taylor, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Are you ready to be a dad? That's the next question.
Man, the nursery's ready. I think I'm ready, but I mean, I don't know.
How much longer do we have?
Probably about 6 weeks, 5.5.
That's whenever he came.
Yep.
He was
6
6 weeks
weeks
early. Then we spent
No
a month
kidding.
in NICU.
No kidding.
Old Conehead over there.
What was it like, Gibson? What was it like coming 6 weeks early?
I can't remember.
Give us your best impression of what it was like.
Just hooked up to a bunch of stuff. Just
You don't remember any of that. Yeah.
yeah,
You've seen pictures.
pictures of me just being hooked up to a bunch of stuff.
That was tough. That was tough on old dad.
I did have a cone head when I was little though.
Nice.
They had to pull you. Yeah, they had to pull you out, and you got that cone head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was purple. It
was
bruised all up on him. This will be wild, Taylor. You're getting for a whole new thing, man. This is you're going to do just fine. I have no doubt in my mind about you guys. But I tell you what, and I've seen your wife. I would have a bag packed right now. Like,
Oh man.
like hey, I'll never forget this. So here we are. It was right about about 11 years ago, about this time. This was August 17th, and he was actually due, I believe, the last Saturday in September. Yeah. And so it's August. At this time, it's going to be August the 16th, right? And I was opening Gillum Insurance on September the 1st. Okay. So I was moving into the office commons kind of officially. They had let me start coming in there since June. God love Larry and Melissa, but they started letting me come in there in around June. So, I'm getting ready to open up, and Mindy, it's her first day back to school, and she calls me and she goes, hey, she calls me early in the day and she goes, hey, I can't go in the bathroom. I don't know what's going on, man. And I was like, he's probably laying on your bladder or something, whatever. And so then about 3 o'clock or about 2:30 rolls around, and she calls me up. She goes, hey, Jason, actually the principal called me. Melissa Ball called me. And she goes, hey, Jason, she said, they need you to take Mindy to the hospital. They think she's going into labor. And I mean, me, I get worked up. And I said, I was like, what? And I said, there's no way. I mean, imagine, you're thinking, gosh, okay. So
It'd be like today for me.
Yeah, it'd be like today, right, for you. So I remember I went and got her real quick. I mean, I've got the hazards on. I'm going to Chillicothe. I'm running 100 mile an hour. And I remember telling her, like, whenever we got there, I was like, now listen, I was like, we're not going to go to Chillicothe and just freak all out here every time you got to take a leak, right? I was like, I was like, you just what? I was like, we're going to go in here today. I was like, just so you know, we're not going to do this.
You told her, man.
Yeah, I really told her, and I'll never forget. They give you a swab. They do a swab thing, and that woman says, well, get comfortable. You're having a baby. And I was like, what? And 20 hours later, here he come. And, so we stayed there for about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, almost a month. We was in NICU. Mindy never left. He was in NICU, and then they move you out or whatever. But he had a lot of problems with formula. So we had the natural milk, and then we had there's another one that we had, not soy. We ended up on soy, I think. But there was he kept rejecting it, and then I remember one time I got mad at the doctor because like he was rejecting the milk and he kept shoving it in his thing. But in the doctor's, he's the doctor, I'm not, so he says, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to open up that stomach. I'm trying to push it in there and get that stomach to open up a little bit and expand, and that way he can hold some food, because that's why he's bringing it back up. He didn't have any room. He's underdeveloped. He's 6 weeks early, so that's where they were at. But he's healthy as a horse now. Yeah. What do you think? Can you tell you were a preemie?
No.
You can't?
Nope.
I can't tell you were a preemie.
Do you feel like a horse?
No.
Okay, well, we're good.
And then he, so, and it obviously has affected him. You just got, what did you get? You got some sort of ranking in your testing.
It was some like talented and gifted thing, isn't it?
Well, you're in tag.
Yeah, I'm in tag.
Nice.
But what was you on one of those tests, those AR tests or the third proficient?
The state test.
Yeah.
I got like
You were like top 3 or
top 3, 5. I think top 5. I think.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he did really well on that. He's a smart kid when he wants to be. You know, whenever he tries at stuff, he's like his daddy. Whenever I try, I'm good, but it's whatever I don't try is whatever I'm bad. But yeah, get ready, brother. It's happening.
We're excited, man.
And these are your last days of Taylor Stepp. You're going to be a whole different man after this. And it's tough, you know. It's tough. It's tough to get used to. It's a lot of just everything changes now.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I've always said I wish I could have always picked your mom and dad's brain because your mom and dad had 3 perfect kids, and it makes me mad. Like how perfect you guys ended up.
This isn't about you. You're perfect. That's all he's saying.
Yeah, I'm saying like, you know, like his mom and dad, they got Christian, Mariah.
Yeah.
We'll give him a pass, won't we? You know, he's church drummer. How's things? Tell me about that. We had Jesse on the show.
Yeah.
He called to bust your chops a little bit before you got here.
Yeah, you know, I mean.
How do you feel it's going?
I think it's going great. That's actually where I was just at the church practicing. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going great.
You definitely changed the, I don't know if I'd say you. If you want me to say you, I will. You definitely, or somebody changed the overall picture of that church, I think. I mean,
thanks.
Yeah, that church was kind of just an old traditional, whenever I say old, I just mean old customs, old ways, very traditional church. Obviously, they went through the, what would you call that, a divestiture? Disaffiliation. Okay, so they went through the disaffiliation.
Yep.
Are they still a Methodist?
No, they're not. I don't think. They got voted out. Like, I remember being there. There's this, it's called Faith Trackers now. I used to go to it, and then we were up in this top room, and then it was, because Pastor Josh, I think his name was, we watched him get voted out, like, because he's a Methodist pastor.
Yeah, well, that was the
disaffiliation.
That was the disaffiliation. But I didn't.
But no, they're not a Methodist anymore. They're just.
They're not Christ United Methodist.
No, they're just Christ Church of Jackson.
Oh.
Like, they can't have Methodist in their name anymore because they're not.
Oh, is that true?
Well, that was true. They can't it's not a Methodist church in like the denomination's United Methodist. They're not a United Methodist church. But the church has joined the Global Methodist denomination, which is kind of like a loose affiliation of churches, and it's a more like loose affiliation than what it was with the United Methodist.
It's basically now a non-denominational church practicing Methodist.
That'd be one way to think about it.
Yeah.
That'd be one way to think.
Yeah, they're not a chain anymore, right? So Jackson is Jackson a standalone, or are we shipping anything anywhere else?
Definitely not shipping anything anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, we for those of you who don't know, Christ Church in Jackson. I think, you know, the church is in a really good spot.
Numbers are up.
Yeah, we I guess I'll just talk about myself. So, you know, Natalie and I have been looking for church and community in Jackson for a long time, and grew up in that church. And because of some of the things that Gibson mentioned, and, you know, some other things, you know, we just had gone to other churches and done different things. But, you know, we came back about a year and a half ago, and, you know, we really thought it was important to have church and community in the center of Jackson. And it's been great. We've got good group, you know, Jesse Reynolds, Emily Reynolds, who I guess both been on your podcast now, and like an awesome group of people, like an awesome group of young adults. We just met last night on Wednesday nights at 6, and it's good. You know, we got a lot of people that look for community, that want that are looking for something in the middle of Jackson. And you know, I mean, the world's in a pretty crazy place, and I'm convinced the only way that we're going to see real improvement is with Jesus. And that's why I'm so focused on the church and giving people hope and and attracting people there. And it's not about attracting people to a building or a denomination or like a particular pastor or anything about that. It's bringing people to the person of Jesus, because frankly, I mean, we're all lost without him. So that's why I'm involved there. I think we're on a really good trajectory. And if anybody's looking for a church, I mean, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, we go to the, what do you call that? The
Contemporary.
service. We did go to the traditional. I'm really glad we switched. And I can say on his behalf, probably, or well, why don't you tell us, since you're Chad now? What do you think? What do you think about the difference between now versus the old school youth stuff?
So like when I used to go to the Sunday school and stuff.
Yeah, you don't do that anymore.
I don't do that now.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing to compare, then, is there? I've
seen it. So you know how I used to go to that bug club?
Mm-hmm.
It's that faith trackers I was telling you about now, and like there's a whole different person over that ministry.
Okay, all right.
And they just gave up their job. So Jax, my cousin, his mom just gave her application for that children's ministry.
Oh, I didn't realize Jax was your cousin.
Yeah,
Tiffany and Mindy are cousins, first cousins.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Tiffany and John come to our small group, and they're awesome.
Yeah. I've noticed. I guess what I was getting at is I think there's more. There's not. You went to the Sunday school, and you had a good bit of kids in there. Yeah.
And now there's like, I don't think it's called Blast now, but like there's a good bit of kids who go to that, which is when they say kids line up for Blast.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. They're going down there to that
Sunday school.
But to that faith trackers, I don't think anybody's hardly showing up anymore. That was that bug. It's that bug.
That's
club
what was Bug Club.
It's been kind of dormant.
Well, it's a tough time of year too.
Yeah.
During school, but I think there's more kids in the church than there was.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We've got the data on that.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. Is I feel like, I mean, all your buddies go there.
Yeah, except there used to be, like when I was like 6 or 7, still going to Sunday school. There was a lot of kids going there.
Really?
When Jessica and Michael were still over there.
I haven't seen them. Wonder where they ended up.
I don't know. I don't think they're doing any church things anymore.
Yeah,
like they're still going, but I don't think
I need Cole, Michael. I like me some Michael.
But all the way up until like a year ago, it was packed with kids every Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got, like I said, you've got a good bit of crew in there now. You're not shedding light on this like you should.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there. I think there's more kids in that contemporary service that we go to than what there used to be.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Like Christian and Ryan. Then.
Yeah. Well, and everybody else.
Yeah.
There, because I can remember when there was a day whenever like you and 2 or 3 other kids was about the only kids.
Yeah.
Now there seems like there's at least probably 20 of you.
Yep.
But I don't pay much attention to what you do. I guess I should, but I pretty well figure you got it under control. So, what else you got, Cuz? We've talked swings, we've talked politics, we've talked business, we've talked children, talked church.
What's going on? Yeah.
Is your wife ready for this baby?
She's so ready, man.
She has to be ready.
She's so ready. I mean, it's also, late July.
Oh, she's got to be hot.
And it's
I think I saw her walking today.
Yeah, I probably did.
Probably
did.
I was working in town today, and I was like, "Is that Natalie? Why is she walking at this stage of the pregnancy in the heat?"
Well, dude, I mean, it's you got to stay in good shape. Being
in good shape while pregnant is key. I think
it's key.
It'll help you.
Yeah, I mean, she's ready to have the baby. It's we're getting to that point. Christian just had a baby.
Mm-hmm. So this will be what, grandbaby number 5, 4. Mariah's got 1. Christian's 2. And here you're coming in. Mm-hmm. The oldest coming in late. It happens.
Yeah, man.
How old are you?
32.
That's exactly how old I was.
Yep.
Whenever I had Gibson.
Yep.
And that's exactly how old my dad was whenever he had me.
That's crazy.
So you'll be a 50-year-old going across the field for the first time.
What was my mom when she had me? 29 or 30?
If I was 32, she'd have been 30. Yep. So, yeah, she was right below. She's 2 years younger than me. But And hit boom. Now I'm 43 and I feel, I'm ready for bed by 10 o'clock every night and, all that
Except
stuff.
if you're awake, you're sometimes you're staying up or waking up, I don't know, till 2 a.m. and going grab your nightly midnight snack.
You see him telling over me right there? Hey, I like a good midnight peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
Kim.
I think he just roasted you, man.
He did. I mean, this is Pudge Jr., but
I can tell.
He's going to be a roaster. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to just call a man out if he needs to.
What's on your mind, Gibson?
I'm getting ready for football, mostly just sports. I'm just kind of getting ready for football.
First year of football.
First year
Just got it
football.
done with his first year of wrestling.
Wrestling.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I like wrestling. Wrestling's fun.
Yep. And he's been golfing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. So Grandpa Ison, Mindy's dad,
Yeah.
big golfer.
Okay.
Yep. Club champion.
Really?
Yeah. He's, he's been in the senior PGA a couple times. We got into
Really?
play. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's legit. Yeah.
He's been in the senior PGA.
He missed it by 2 strokes. He went to the final cut and he missed it by 2 strokes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Twice he missed it by 2 strokes on a playoff on the last hole. So he's got a good teacher there, and then but yeah, he's been. Hey, tell Taylor about your mountain biking experience.
Out at Snowshoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that.
So I took him to Snowshoe Mountain here 2 weeks ago for the first time, and boy, he ate it up.
Yeah.
He did good. Now he did eat it his second trip down the mountain.
Yeah.
That happens.
Did you see that video of him wrecking?
I don't know what happened. Did my front wheel get out from underneath me?
It just got kicked sideways.
Yeah.
And then you was just going so fast, dude. You was ripping.
My mom wouldn't do it. We offered to rent her a bike, and then she didn't want to.
Yeah.
Are you hooked now?
Yeah, we're selling the dirt bikes.
Yeah. I'm with him. I mean, I have a dirt bike too. Love dirt bikes. They're cool, they're fun, but they're not as fun as mountain bikes. That I tell you, that's what we need here. If you want to talk about drawing in tourism, I would open up a private, not on public ground, private mountain bike park.
Well, who's gonna do it if it's not on public ground? Like, would you have to rent it or what?
No, you just somebody that owns a bunch of land. And,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like Snowshoe. That's private.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a national. I mean, it's in the middle of the
Yeah.
Monongahela National Forest, but it's private. Yeah. So there is.
I'm surprised I didn't need it on any of them blue trails.
Yeah, he got on the blues. He got out of the greens and went to the blues.
Dude.
Next step's Black Diamond,
Nice.
and he's
Do you think Riker went down that Black Diamond?
he did on accident.
Oh, on accident?
Yeah, he made the wrong turn and ended up on a Black Diamond.
Yeah.
But those Black Diamonds down there at Snowshoe, West Virginia, is a little bit different than your typical Black Diamonds. Yeah.
I saw Rudy Pebbles, and I don't think
Yeah.
I don't even think like it looked hard from getting one glance at it, glare at it.
Yeah. We gotta get Taylor into this biking, don't we? He's a jogger. He likes to jog. I don't remember you riding a bike much.
We rode bikes. We had a bike route.
I'm sure you had one, but during that time period of your life, I would have probably been gone. I'd have probably been in Athens.
Probably were in college, yep.
Yep. Because I can remember you coming to my football games whenever you was about his age.
Yep.
I've got a picture somewhere of me holding you, and I'm in my uniform, and but I was like a freshman.
Yeah.
I was like a freshman or JV, and you were there. But you might not even have been his age at that point.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're 32 though. You're exactly 11 years younger.
Oh,
than me.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So whenever I was 17, you'd have been 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have been younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys, let's wrap it up. You got anything else you want to tell everybody? You want to tell any of your buddies hi?
I mean, I bet Christian's watching this because he watches your podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them else do. But
Is this children approved? Are your podcasts
Pretty
child
much. Yeah, pretty
friendly?
much. Yeah, I mean, we've backed
there's
it
no
way back.
age limit on it. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't say some of them aren't. I know that. I've heard some of them
Have you? What
Yeah.
have you heard?
stuff.
You don't need to answer that, Gibson.
Stuff, he says. We'll blame that on Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you be doing it since you're filling in for him. Don't you be dropping none of them F-bombs. I know how you get. So, nothing else for us, Taylor?
I'm good.
All right, Taylor Stepp. Ladies and gentlemen, go look him up. Where can they find Appalachian Woodworking?
Yeah, Etsy, Instagram, and TikTok, unfortunately.
Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. Appalachian Woodworking. Check us out.
Appalachian Woodworking, 2 words.
Yep.
Look him up, and you can also get on
cribswings.com.
cribswings.com. You got any promo codes or anything?
Not right now, but we may soon.
Yeah. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Get you something going there. But yeah, hey, look him up. Cribs.com, Appalachian Woodworking. Thank you, Gibson Gillum. Nothing else?
Nothing else.
All right. Hey, see you.